to another video. I'm taking y'all with me today. Gotta go do a few things, but I wanted to talk about a few things that I had on my mind when it comes to being an athlete. Um, I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of dedication it takes to be an athlete, even on the high school level. It requires a lot of you. And one of the main things that I think a lot of people take for granted is the fact that you have to be in great shape to even be on a team. Um, Most of the time, a lot of high school athletes play their whole career and never reach the the pinnacle of where they could be in terms of in terms of their athletic ability because they're out of shape. And so once they understand that, it's not really until they get on the collegiate level and really realize how out of shape they were, and that they could have never been successful on the collegiate level without having been in shape. And if they would have been in half the shape that they were required to be in college and high school, their recruiting, their ability to play um, might have been that much greater. So I think that once we get the high schoolers to understand that to even be good, it requires a certain level of skill, but it requires even more so of you from a performance standpoint. Can you run? Can you jump? Can you go when everybody else is tired? Majority of the time that those things are what holds most athletes back. And just like I say, you have an athlete that's talented and that could dominate, but he may be only good for one or two plays. In terms of football, basketball, he may be only good for maybe a quarter or two. But in that quarter or two, he may give you some good buckets and good numbers. But think about if you were able to last the whole game. So what I want you to take away from this is the fact that most athletes shy away from weight training, shy away from running, shy away from flexibility and all those things that will make you a better athlete in the long run. Most of us as athletes, don't look past the next workout. We don't worry about what we're going to eat. We don't worry about what we're going to drink, if we're refueling, or if we're, all of the technical aspects of being an athlete. All of those things are unsexy to us. We don't really care about what it takes to be great because we may be better than our counterparts. So if we were just to take a quick examination of most high school athletes, I would say 60 to 70%, if not higher, don't even have a proper diet that they're eating. Now, rightfully so, some parents, some kids come from households that may not have a big nutritional upside, so you have to eat whatever is provided for you. But that doesn't mean you should neglect your body as an athlete in terms of your running, your level of fitness, your level of flexibility. All of these are things that you can control on your own. And so if you don't control them, you're putting your fate in the hands of somebody else, because the next man may come along and he may just be in a little bit better shape than you. And if he can go 4 quarters and you can only go 3, we're gonna go with the guy that can give me full quarters versus the guy that can only give me a short amount of time. So I think that in essence, on the high school level, at the very least, you should be making sure you're lifting and you're running. And if you're not doing at least those two things on your own, and I'm not talking about getting in the gym and the weight room, you could do push-ups, you can do sit-ups, you can do squats, air squats on your own. All of those things will help you if you do them consistently. The key component in that whole statement is consistently. Not just when, oh, football season coming around, oh, basketball season coming up. You should be doing this on a daily basis in terms of your level of fitness and your level of attention to your body and the rigorous um, things that you are put through as an athlete. We have some athletes that play in 2 and 3 sports at one time. We all know in the spring you have football, spring football. They may have coming up. They may have basketball. You may have 7-on-7 in basketball during the summer. Each coach kind of wants to get that extra work, so to speak. So it's not beneath you to be on 2 teams playing 2 different sports at a high level at one time. Now, in my personal opinion, do I think it's right? I don't think so. But as an athlete that played multiple sports, you can't really make an excuse for it. You have to be your best at when the whistles blow, nobody cares about what you've done. If you're tired, if you're not, all they care about, can you be the best you when it's time to strap it up, when it's time to get the ball going, when the whistle blows, are you at your best? And that's what your focus should be on. Another key point in this is sleep. I know a lot of guys, and like I say, I myself was a gamer as well. So I was one of those guys that played the video games, and we stayed up and played all night. And well, I didn't play all night, but I knew guys that did that stuff, and some of them, they understood that they would be tired or whatever the case is. But I think in the grand scheme of things, if you could learn to shut the video games off, prioritize your sleep, you would gain tremendous amount of upside from that. You wouldn't be as tired, you wouldn't be as groggy. Your body would start to function a lot better than it may be performing now. You may think it's performing great now, but when you get to a level of understanding your true your true body mechanics and how vital sleep is, the whole world will change, because you'll understand that it's not just about showing up and playing. Recovery is equally as important. So unless you understand all of those metrics, sometimes it's hard to be optimally the best athlete you can be every time you step on the field or the court or whatever court of play that you play on. So I think that in the grand scheme of things, if you always pay attention to how your body reacts to certain workouts and how your body responds after you've played. If you've played a game and you're feeling very fatigued, or even worse, you may have cramps, or you may catch cramps during a game or whatever, your body is letting you know what it needs. It is not, and a lot of times we just think that water may be the fix, and it's not always the case. It's not always just about water. You have to make sure you have the proper nutrients in your body. You have the proper. You may need to take some vitamins. You may be deficient in some areas. So with that, you want to make sure, if you have to go see a physician, to say, hey, well, what is my body lacking? This can take your game to the next level alone, because you may be able to go for longer. You may be able to sustain at a higher level of play more than your counterpart. So all of these things play into you being the best athlete you can be. So in the end, the thing that you want to make sure you're doing is paying attention to how your body responds, making sure that everything that you do is in your best interest as an athlete, especially nutrition wise, especially stretching wise, especially um, you making sure your body is in the best position to give you can get the so you can get the most out of it. And so as you come along as an athlete in the athletic world, you start to understand that these things are vital to your success as an athlete. So, and if you're having problem with any of these areas, you need to get with somebody that can help you. And it may just be as simple as making an adjustment to your schedule so that you can make time to stretch, so you can make time to get a proper meal, drink the right amount of water, make sure you're taking the right amount of vitamins. That way, the playing field on that level is leveled out, and you're not getting an unfair advantage because someone may just have had more water that day, or they ate a better meal, and they just were the better athlete that day. You want to make sure that's the only thing it could be. That it was nothing on my end that I did that could have enhanced me in ways that I could have controlled. So if I can control it, I want to give myself every competitive advantage to do so. So take those things into consideration, and I promise you, you'll be a better athlete because of it.